Blog Talk Radio. Today is Monday, November 5th, 2018, and this is Foxology. It's Master Your Mindset Monday, folks, and I am Silver Ray Fox, your host, bringing you some of the most live and awesome conversations on these particular Mondays. And why do you ask? Well, I'm so glad you did, because I believe in the power of mindset. I can remember all too well some of the mindsets I've had to reset, ways of thinking that had to be trashed, that had to be transformed, perspectives that needed to be challenged and changed, ideas and many ideologies that needed, some intimate inspection and introspection for truth and accuracy. And I had a lot of thought processes that had to undergo mental manipulation and surgery to heal. All of that sounds like I was being kind of cray-cray, huh? Well, no, that's not it. No, but I did suffer from misbeliefs, stuff told to me, talked to me, brought to me, stuff down my throat and into my system from one way or another. And I had to rebuild and renew and redo almost all of it. And it has been both hard and a beautiful challenge, a wonderful place of personal growth, healing, and healthy thinking. And what did I say earlier? Master Your Mindset Monday? Well, it's actually a Monday through Sunday process for those who really want to see dynamic change in their lives. It's a healthy work, though, making sure you stay on the upside, the positive side, the best side of bad thinking that could potentially destroy you, and that really can happen, people. A real bad place that many individuals face is a place of hopelessness when they fear that hope is lost. There's no door, no light, no passage, no opportunity, no way, and nobody can be found. It's a tough place, but the good news is that there are also countless individuals who have found hope even in the midst of the land of no hope. Today, my radio BFF, superstar RRR TV host Cassandra McShepard, and I are going to take a trip through, and I do say through, we're not going to stay in that land. We're going to go through that place to the other side, the other place where hope is found. And that's what this Master Your Mindset Monday is all about. Welcome, Cassandra.
Silver, as always, a pleasure. I like the fact that you say that we are going through, moving through, traversing. But on our way through, I want us minds open so we can glean the value in the valley, because there is always something to get from where you are, wherever you are.
That's the truth. That is so true. Well, I want to start this show and some that I think are of particular fragileness with a disclaimer. And that is by saying that when you and I, talk about these types of things, that we stake no claim in being psychologists or any type of therapist in the medical field. What we offer you people is perspectives from life, from our own experiences, from being a part of others' lives whom we have been able to help and support and encourage and inspire and motivate to see life on the brighter side. So that being said, I really do believe that what we have to share today can also serve you in a very, very positive way if you are that person who may be struggling in the area, particularly now. We're at that time of the year where people begin to sense something that feels like hopelessness, that this holiday season, and what triggers it, who knows? There's so many reasons, and it really doesn't matter. It's all individual, and it's all intimate to that individual. But what we do, what Cassandra and I do, is very heartfelt, heart known, and we do want to make sure that we are providing information to you that you can take with all sincerity and believe there is a way through many, many, many of life's harder circumstances. So, Cassandra, I want to ask you something to get this conversation jump started. What comes to your mind when you hear people say there's no hope or all hope is lost? What comes to your mind?
A real sense of empathy, because I really understand what that feels like. And it's challenging because people will, make noise like keep on living, buck up, things will get better, pray, all of those things. But there's something very, well, I'll say from my own experience, hopelessness is a real feeling. And when you are in that space, it can be very frightening, very lonely, very dark, very, very bleak. And I don't really think that it is the time to be placated. So when I hear people make that kind of noise, having a point of reference, understanding of it myself, if I can, I just put my hands on them. It's not a time, because there's power in touch. I put my hands on them and I try to know better, or try to know different, or try to know more for them than they know at any given time. Now, if I am in a relationship, friendship, or in any kind of situation where I have access to that person, then I, again, try and get them to talk, to listen, not to judge, but just to listen. Because a lot of times when we are, and I'll say tripping, not to diminish the very real feeling of hopelessness, but a lot of times when we are tripping or spinning or looping, if we have an opportunity to voice it, to hear it, we can hear that it's not always as sound as it may feel. Silver, I could go on, but let me suffice it to say that this is the importance of what the conversations that you and I have when we are doing this, and just in general. Mastering your mindset is a lifelong process, and it is critical to get a point of reference. So when you are looping or tripping or in that point of hopelessness, you can't tell yourself that there is no hope and believe that it is true.
Mm-hmm. Very true. Very true. You just talked about experiencing it and knowing it, and I as well have been pushed into places in life, and I say pushed, maybe I pulled myself into those places, perhaps in some of those circumstances, where the appearances of what do I do now? How do I get out of this? What's my next step? What's my next move to be? And when you can really feel that you've been blinded to the things that I mentioned, a door or an opportunity or people, and you are questioning, where do I find hope for these particular circumstances? And I say it meaning that, coming through heartbreak and divorce and financial devastation and things that you've invested in just come crashing down. I know what that feels like. In fact, I told my daughter last night in a conversation, I feel like I have had to rebuild my entire life at least 10 times. And that would be, and 10 times might be an exaggeration, but whether it was once, 10 times, or 20 times, it doesn't really matter. I think you still feel the same way. But believe helped me most. And other than having some type of mental tenacity and maybe just an inkling of it too, I have to say, I told myself, just like you just had explained, that I believed I would and that I could somehow. Granted now, I had no idea how. And I mean that in the real sense. I had no sense of what that how was going to be, what that how was going to look like, how a way was going to be made. I literally had no ideas. All I did was have this thought that I would and that I could. And I really hope, my hope for somebody's hope today that's listening, because even though it may seem you've got no money and maybe you've got no place to live right now, maybe it seems you have no friends, one of the things that has to happen is that those particular directions that you've looked in may not be the right directions, because there is something, a little bit of rope somewhere that you possibly can grasp onto. And I know this from talking to other people as well. They say that they go to agencies and that they go to people and, you know, they look for work and all of the doors get shut with all of that. And I know that that's a reality too. I understand that clearly as well. But I shared this particular experience one day when I was getting off from work. I think I maybe shared this story with you. It's brief, but it has a point. I saw a homeless individual digging down inside of one of those big outdoor waste baskets, just really searching for something, And I looked and I just became so focused on it and thinking about that person, looking so desperately for whatever they could find, I guess, to eat. And I thought to myself, that would be me if I did not have hope and faith. That would be me. That was the only defining factor in what I was watching. And so whether or not you have actually found that something, that person was searching for some food, something in me kept me searching for hope. So my thought and theory with finding hope is that don't stop looking for it, because something will be there to grasp upon. Something will be there to add a little bit of confidence you may need to just take another step or take another breath.
Cassandra? So as I'm listening to you talk, I'm trying to see if there's anything else that I can, with any kind of intelligence or personal understanding, offer other than what I'm about to say. And I don't think anything else really needs to be offered. As I listen to you talk about the job is gone, the money is gone, the house is gone, the car is gone, the lover's gone, or whatever a person feels, if it is that kind of situational depression or feeling of hopelessness or feeling of loss, then I think about where we place our faith, where we place our value. And any place outside of ourselves, we are doomed to experience a kind of upset, if not complete and total loss at some point in time in our lives. And so, again, when I think about what there is to hope on, I can't imagine having this conversation, or certainly having the peace that I have now after having been at that place of real hopelessness, without spiritual foundation. Because that is the one thing, that is the only thing in my life that has never failed me, that has never left me, that always fortifies, that always renews, that always blesses, that always satisfies and soothes. However, I had to get that. And that, as I said in the beginning of the conversation, is the beauty and the point in these conversations, the cultivating of a sense of self, the understanding whose you are, who you are, what you are. And those are the sorts of things. So, yeah, the lover can be gone, the house can be gone, the money can be gone, and all of those tangible material things that so many of us place our happiness and our faith are contingent upon who we are, what we're driving, where we live, and who knows about it. But when those things fade away, or when those things are temporary, or in the in and out way that they are, when they're out, not in, and you feel hopelessness, there is something so much bigger than that. And when you get as you get the sense of self, you realize that you don't really need those things. They really lose value. And you prayerfully, I know for myself, I set out on a path to really get a handle on this thing, on this gift called Cassandra. And I realized that as jobs come and go, and all of those things come and go, money and homes and cars and all of those tangible things of the world come and go, the one thing that I had was the gift of me and the ability to think and process. And my lows, and baby, I used to have them, are never as low as they were. And I also say there's value in doing nothing. Because when you really don't know, when people say, I just don't know how, I honor that. Because there really is a not knowing. And at that point, the last thing that I would suggest somebody do is spin a wheel that's flat. Just be still, because if you keep on breathing, it's going to pass. I mean, if you keep on breathing and do no harm, it shifts, it lightens, and when you can roll, when you can move, then do it. But there's real value when a person's at that point to just be still and do no harm and keep on breathing.
Yes, for sure. I want to bring up a question, though, Cassandra, because both of us, definitely have strong spiritual foundations. But there is something that comes to mind to who have experienced such bitterness, experienced such battered circumstances and awful things. And the one thing they'll ask, even in hearing conversations like ours, and knowing even that there are so many people around them who have fought the good fight and come through it, they'll still say, but where is God in all of this stuff that has happened to me? And while I did not question the existence of God, I did ask that question, not any time in recent years, but I asked that, and here's what I had to do. And again, I hope this helps somebody. I believe in the existence of God. Where was he in my circumstances? I couldn't see or feel. But, and you said this, but the knowing was what I had to go on, even though it wasn't always shaping up like it should have, or things just had not gone like I had planned. I just knew he existed. I had to believe that and hold on to that in order to keep my forward movement. And when I say forward movement, people, it may be so slow. It may be so grueling. It may be so hard. It may be, feels like, what's the point? But the point is that you are walking toward hope. And just like Cassandra said, eventually, if you keep breathing, you're going to get there. If you keep walking
I swear,
and you
Silver,
keep moving, you'll get there.
I swear some of the many blessings I have received happened because I just didn't die. Not because I did anything right, but just because, she's still here. Let's bless her. Let's say this. You say, where is God? And I know exactly where God is, wherever you think. We talk about, no, not we. It is said, the God of your understanding. How much can you handle? As much as you can understand. God does what God does through you. So that says that we need to get a real personal understanding. And as I've said in conversations we've had before, if the understanding of God that you have, if the God of your understanding does not love you unconditionally, has not given you already any and everything, does not judge you, does not persecute you, if the God that you understand is just, how you say, better than you can articulate or imagine, then that's on point. If the God that you understand is a persecutor or a judgment wielder or a finger pointer, then you need to do, as you and I talked about before, get a new revelation. You need to get an understanding of who and what God is, and I promise you, that's what saved me. Because again, when I would say, "Well, God, where are you?" I mean, I hear the answer, "Not in the mess." You know, people say, "Well, where is God when people look at any situation in the news or in the world?" God ain't in that mess. That's flesh. What do you understand about God? And it's so mastering your mindset. I mean, it is more critical. It's critical always, but it's more critical in this conversation, so because we're talking about some real life and death thinking here. Real life and death thinking. And many people don't survive their thoughts and their pain and their fear.
It's true.
But
that is so true.
So I ain't playing, you know. But I promise you, I was at suicide's door. And I thought at that point that God was in heaven waiting to judge and persecute me, and I knew I wasn't good enough, and I knew I couldn't get it right. But the God I understand now was thinking, "Oh, my poor, lovely, silly child. But I got you. Whatever you do, I got you because I made you. So how could I make you expecting things of you that you could not do? And how could I persecute you for being what and as I made you? And how could I not love you because you are me? And where am I? In you." But you got to know that, and it's that knowledge that I'm telling you, child, when the sun don't shine, I just play video games. I told you. God, when you're ready, I'm here. And I know God's not tripping because that's not what God does. But that's my understanding, and it has given me the kind of peace that no job and no car and no house and no amount of money and no friend and no lover could ever do. And it has never left me. As a matter of fact, the deeper I go, the more I look, the more there is for me to understand. The more in love I fall and the more possibilities I see.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true. I knew it was a point that we needed to make because that question often comes up in the minds of people. And I want to say something just based on the reason for this particular topic. I mentioned at the beginning about belief, and there were a lot of things too that I have to be very transparent about that I was taught about God that I don't believe were things that helped me most. In fact, I think it's safe for me to say that had I been taught and told many more aspects of his essence and being presence in my life, I probably could have avoided a lot of missteps that had taken place. And so I had to. That was when I mentioned again earlier in my intro about doing intimate inspection and introspection, and really getting to know God for myself, and like you too, Cassandra, to understand and to embrace the love that you begin to feel from knowing that and sensing that and living in that from day to day is very real. And so that's one of the things I do want to encourage people to take a look at. You hear a lot of voices. They're all over the place about the reality of God. But find out the reality of God in your life and circumstances. That would be one of the best pieces of encouragement I would like to see you get from this conversation today. We are already down to 5 minutes, sis. Can you believe it?
Wow.
But,
Wow.
happens every time, doesn't it?
You know, I think to myself,
this was so necessary.
Yeah. I think so too. It's like, ho ho, oh no, 'tis the season, and I don't know exactly why. This time of year brings about more angst, I think, in more people than any other time of year. I know for me, it's a combination of the short, dark days, cold weather in the Midwest, you know, and expectation to be, you know, jolly and happy, and not everybody can do that. I mean, there is just overwhelming expectation because it is the season to feel those things, and I think it's a time when a lot of those feelings come up. But I also view it as a perfect time to go inside, and if you're not on the cliff, if you're not on the edge today, take the opportunity to get some understanding, to get, as you used to always say, a new revelation, to reset your mind, to get a perch and a point that you can claim, not just noise you make, but a position that you can stand on to get you to the next level.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I really do thank you. I say that every show, but I do mean it, because your input, your insight, your experiences are extremely valuable to these conversations, and that's why we must keep doing them. Thank you so much, sis. I appreciate you very, very much.
Always a pleasure.
All that you contribute. I really do. Thank you, and you stay blessed. I'll talk to you real soon. Okay?
Yes.
All righty. Love you. And those of you who are interested in hearing more from Cassandra McShepherd, she also has a very funny side that she shares Monday through Friday on Real Milwaukee, which airs on Channel 6, Fox Channel 6 in Milwaukee. It also streams live on the Internet from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, and you can see her there in a totally different mode. She brings a wonderful inspiration and motivation to this particular show, but she's hilarious on that one. So you might want to check her out when you get a chance. Also, learn more about all the many things she does. She's a talented woman, and you can learn more about her at www.CassandraMcShepherd.com. So I hope you will check her out. And, you know, I also hope you'll check out more Foxology shows. There's quite a menu there. Y'all scan it if you have a few minutes and see what else you might want to have your ears picked to. So much that I've done with so many people, so many lives and experiences that I've shared on purpose for you. So take a look when you get a minute. I'm looking forward to talking to you again next week. Please share this information with your friends and family on Facebook. Foxology is doing. It's always interesting, educational, enlightening, informative. It's smart. It's wise. It's Foxology. Until I talk to you the next time, be good. Be blessed. Be awesome.